My name is Aman Obsiye. I'm the Vice President of the United Somali Movement. I've been asked to speak by a grand coalition of civic, religious, and political organizations in the Somali American community. Henceforth, Somali Voices. We Somali Voices have come with a message on behalf of the 75,000 estimated Somalis that reside in Minnesota. We are encouraged that indictments have come forth in the case of the missing Somali men. If laws have been broken, justice needs to be served. We are also encouraged by the investigative report from the July 12th edition of the New York Times, which is the first factual evidence about any activities of the missing Somali men. The investigative report emphasized that these men left voluntarily on their own. These men raised their own funds and recruited each other. I repeat, the investigative report emphasized that these men left voluntarily and on their own. They raised their own funds and recruited each other. The investigative report clearly indicates that no religious institution or civic organization played any role in assisting the missing Somali men. These men met at high schools and universities they attended. These men mainly communicated through social media and telephone. As Somali Americans, we are heavily invested in the Minnesota community. And we're heavily invested in the safety of the Twin Cities. We Somali Americans are concerned about national security as any other American is concerned. We don't want this community to be attacked by the actions of a few. Finally, we want our true collective voices to be heard. We are not represented by a few fringe individuals whose baseless allegations have been clearly refuted by the investigative facts. Thank you. I can answer a couple of questions real quick.
Are you expecting there to be more indictments locally on this case?
That's a question for the FBI.
Well, are you afraid that Minnesotans will paint all Somalis with a broad brush here, or how do you want Minnesotans to respond to it?
Naturally, you know, there's a saying, Minnesota nice. Minnesota's a very nice, liberal people, very welcoming. We're not worried about the Minnesotans. What we're worried about is a few fringe individuals who are portrayed as the voice of the Somali community when they're actually not. So that's why today we gathered as a grand coalition of civic, religious, and political organizations in the Somali American community to express our true perspective.
Aman, are you talking about Omar Jamal?
I don't want to name names, but you know these individuals better than I know these individuals. I can't speak on behalf of that because I'm not part of the investigation. I don't know all the details of the investigation.
But that's a fact. I mean, that's a fact. That's part of this.
I can't speak on behalf of that if I don't know what's going on.
Well, but you're speaking on behalf of a report in the newspaper that isn't complete either.
Well, the facts state that there's no religious institution involved.
That's not a fact. They're reporting, but there's more to this story than simply that report.
Is there any other questions?